Bitches get stuff done, that's a fact. Unapologetic on the attack. Now's the time.
Happy Sunday, bitches. It is Heather Ryan coming to you from Bitches Get Stuff Done from Des Moines, Iowa.
And I am Blythe in Bargersville, Indiana.
We have had a busy freaking week, and I am ready for a slumber. And it's like
Same.
7 o'clock in the evening, Central Time, and I could go sleepy right now. You know, Blythe, I don't know if this occurred to you when you were in boot camp, but did you get so tired that you could fall asleep on the toilet?
Oh, 1,000%. There was when we were driving home, so my mom, even though we butt heads, she watched my daughter. So Friday night we had the Indiana Democratic Party Hoosier Hospitality dinner. Stayed out way too fucking late, but I had so much fun. I had so much fun. I mean, it's just amazing how much fun it is to like talk with other Dems who are like, yeah, let's do this shit. So that was a good time, but we didn't get into bed until after 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I had to be in Indianapolis, which is almost an hour drive because I picked someone up to go with me at 8 a.m. So I got to be in the Pride Parade. I was carrying the Army flag, and we went straight from the end of the parade to the protest, which I did security for. So I was working it. And on the way home to pick up Violet, I was just like, I think that this is the feeling women have when they decide they don't want to be moms anymore. Because I was so tired, and it had nothing to do with her, but I was just like, I just want to go home and be by myself and do nothing. And I want to and I was deranged. I brought my umbrella, I brought my rain boots, I brought my rain jacket, but it was so bloody hot. And I was assigned to the roof of a parking garage to do security. And my battle buddy, I was like, hey, I've got umbrellas and stuff in my car. You want to stop by my car? He's like, nah, we should be fine. There's a little bit of overhang. And I was like, okay, I believed him. He's a fucking liar. I was drenched. When it started raining, I was leaning over the edge to look down like this. I could feel the water dripping off my mic, my walkie-talkie down my butt crack. And I didn't want to stand up to walk straight when we had to leave because my belly was the only warm, dry thing because my shirt was big enough to lean over. I was walking like this to go downstairs because I was so uncomfortable and freezing and shivering. And I was like, this fucking sucks. I was so mad.
You're only listening to this. You can't see Blythe. She was walking kind of like an elephant with her trunk like swinging back and forth.
I was pissed, man. I was pissed. Why did you get my stuff?
Similar here. So it's Pride Month. So for Pride Month, they had Drop Dead Gorgeous, a showing of Drop Dead Gorgeous. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it on the big screen in this very artsy fartsy little theater in Des Moines. But it's 10 o'clock at night on a Thursday. So I didn't get home on Thursday night until 1 a.m. So then I had an 8 o'clock doctor appointment at the VA.
Oh my God.
And then, I did all the stuff that you have to prepare for when you're going to be a speaker the next day. So I had to do my laundry. I had to, I didn't even prepare my speech until we were on our way to Omaha.
Well, sometimes that's the best because you had some updated things you could say.
Yeah, if you insist. So we're driving to Omaha. Fortunately, Brandon drove so that I could write my speech. And then we get to Omaha and it's so packed. Oh my God. I don't even know, thousands and thousands and thousands of people from both Iowa and Omaha. So we're technically in Council Bluffs, which is just right across the river. And then we marched across the river to Omaha. So I was the very last speaker of the day. So I had all this time to roast my ass off. Oh my God. It had to have been 90 degrees. And we were like straight up in the sun. I did have this amazing parasol. So,
oh, good.
It was very cool for that. But the kids did fry. My middle child had like this insane sunburn like thing. I was like, are you going to regret that life choice, not putting on sunblock? But It was just so busy. And we did have, oh my gosh, we gave away 1,000 stickers. And
oh my God, that's amazing.
I know. We had all kinds of people sign up for our rapid response team, all kinds of people. We received donations. I mean, it was just fantastic. There were lots and lots of vendors there, lots of places for people to go and pay their attention to. But we were so fortunate to have a huge number of people pay attention to us.
Good.
I was just about, before we started recording, I was just about to post part of my little speech that I gave there. It's so awesome. But my God, was it exhausting. That sun takes it out of me. Just takes it really out of me. So
I'm going to try to angle it so I can speak at the next one.
Oh my God. Yes. So fun. I love the speaking part. I mean, all the rest of it's fun too. But then we went to the Villisca Axe Murder House on the way home, nothing but fun and excitement. So if you're not familiar, are you familiar with the Villisca Axe murder house?
I am not. I feel like you mentioned it on another call we were on, but I
Okay.
can't. No, that was a kidnapping. That was a child. That was something different. So no, I don't.
Okay. Well, Villisca is a teeny tiny little town in southwestern Iowa, and it is only known for this horrendous axe murder that happened in 1912.
Damn.
Where this whole family and then two of their neighbors were axe murdered to death in their sleep. And it's a big, never solved. Nobody was ever held accountable. We don't know why, who, what, all kinds of different theories, but it was never solved.
Oh my God.
It's
crazy.
Yeah, if you look it up, it's the only thing Villisca is known for. And so you can go to the axe murder house. They restored it to the way it used to be. And of course, they have all the ghost hunters and all of that reality TV stuff goes on there.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so my kids are more, but actually they're upstairs right now watching more ghost hunters, reliving their axe murder at the time.
I think I know I love reality TV and I've always liked things like that, but I think a lot of that is generational trauma. I mean, especially female or female presenting or female born, like we're the ones who are always attacked.
Yeah,
we have to watch out for that. So we learn from these things, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, this was a whole family, very tragic.
That's insane.
5 members of family and the 2 little girls that stayed over night. Just how you stay over at somebody's house, just awful.
That's crazy.
That was our day, but I loved that. We had thousands of people at the the Council Bluffs and Omaha protest.
That's
and seeing
awesome.
those folks, see people walking across the bridge. It's a footbridge all the way across the Missouri River. Phenomenal. Just such a sight.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow. Thousands and thousands of people all going with their signs and no kings. Really amazing event. I'm so sad that I didn't get to go to the big army rally in DC, but I guess this was a good substitute.
Good. Pride was
sarcastic.
Oh, it wasn't a good substitute.
No,
you would have rather been in DC.
No, dummy. That's what I meant. I would rather not be in DC. This is where everybody was. We probably had as many people in Omaha as they had in DC. It was so boring.
You mean at the actual parade that he had, or at their protest there? Because they had protests there, didn't they?
They did. One of my friends got arrested. Yeah.
Yes. Ask Dad, please.
Yeah. No, the parade was boring. No. Huge waste of $45 million.
Oh, absolutely. It was.
Yeah, there were protesters there too. My friend Bonnie got arrested there.
Yes. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
She's asking me what toys she can put into some slime.
Oh, that's a good question.
Very important. So what did she get arrested for? Wearing a mask?
I haven't talked to her yet. I'm not sure. Bonnie doesn't usually get arrested. But
someone
she does travel
Savannah,
to a lot of,
go ahead.
She goes to a lot of protests. So I don't know why she got arrested for this one. Usually it's just for being a little too abrasive and overzealous cops.
I'll be interested to hear if you find out. Someone got arrested for wearing a mask, just a
regular face mask.
Yeah, like a medical face mask in Savannah. I saw that on TikTok. I was like, "What the fuck, man?"
Yeah, crazy. I would say they got arrested for protesting.
We had one protester get arrested yesterday, and I saw it all go down. I actually need to go back through my live because I was live streaming. I was trying to see, there was one of the corners that I was overseeing. There was a Trump guy with a Trump flag and a megaphone we were keeping an eye on. And one of the protesters on our side went and ripped his flag out of his hands. The MAGA guy ran across the street, wiped out on some rain, busted up his elbow. I mean, it was a whole thing. It was quite amazing to witness from above. But we had between 10 and 20,000 people there. They don't have the final number yet. There was a point in time, I was actually quite irritated that I was not on the ground because I love that shit. But there was a point in time when the Capitol was flooded with people. The sidewalks were flooded with people just going around. But then that sidewalk got so full that they came to the other side below the parking garage. And I was just like, oh, that's a lot of people. Like a lot could go really wrong here if, if something happens. So I was like, yeah, this is probably a good spot for me.
Yeah, I've heard the estimates are somewhere around 8 to 12 million people right now. Can you imagine any other place where you can have 8 to 12 million people assemble and for the most part, no incidents?
Yep.
Absolutely
No, I can't.
crazy.
In America, of all people, of all places, because
Yeah.
there's so many guns around.
Right? There are
Yeah.
more weapons than there are human beings in the country.
Yeah.
You could give a weapon to every man, woman, and child and still have leftovers.
Yeah.
And there
It's
were
insane.
very few incidents. I heard there was one in Utah, but I
Salt
don't
Lake
know.
City.
I don't know the details.
I don't know the details either. I know there was a shooting.
And it seemed like it was an accidental shooting, like it was a friendly fire type thing because somebody else had a
geez.
weapon or something. I could be wrong, but that's my understanding at this point, this early on.
Oh, that's insane. And then in Virginia, a driver drove into the crowd. And I have not followed up on that. But I know so many people came out that this is one of the top 5 protests in the nation's history, which is competing with the George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter numbers.
Wow. Yeah,
So
those were
big
huge.
deal. Bravo to anyone who was able to go. And I know not everybody could go physically or for whatever reasons. But I think it's fucking amazing.
Yeah. Congratulations to anybody who went.
Yeah,
It's not over, so don't think
It's
that
not
you can
over.
just rest on your laurels now because you went to one protest. We're
Yep.
just getting started.
Yep.
We have to continue to rise up.
I was talking to one of my friends, Dakota, and they're thinking probably July 4th will be the next one. I mean, that would make the most sense, right?
Yeah. Well, it's on Friday, and then
Is that?
yeah, this is the 5th. I've got an event to go to in Davenport, I believe. So the other side of
Okay.
the state. So I'm traveling all over the place.
So maybe it'll be the 5th. I'll be interested to hear. So that'll be exciting. So I have a follow up from last week.
Oh,
We talked
great
about
tell.
the FIFA World Cup. I thought that was this year. It is happening this year, but not in America. It's 2026 that it happens in America.
Okay.
And that is where ICE will be. And it's becoming more of an issue because there's already 12 travel bans to America. And Trump wants to add an additional 36. So what is that going to do, not only for the people playing in these sports, but the people observing? I mean, are we just going to assume that only Americans are going to come to this because it's not our top sport? So
Yeah.
it'll be
I
interesting.
have to wonder now. I don't know that much about the World Cup and how that whole thing
Same.
is decided, like where it gets to be at any given year. Can they rescind the offer for it to even be in the United States?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. He's so deep into that. I mean, that's like its own corrupt political system.
Right. I think it is, right? It's just as
And
corrupt
he
as
is-
like the Olympics, right?
Yeah. Well, maybe even more so. I saw a documentary on that. It's been several years now, but I mean, it's really interesting about how bad that is. So I don't know. I would have to imagine Trump's got his grip on that in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also me turning into a conspiracy theorist because why are we living the way that we are right now?
No, I don't know. They decide these things years in advance. I doubt that he had anything to do with it coming to the United States. I think that they would have chosen it while Biden was president. Would be
They
my guess.
did. I feel like I remember that happening recently.
Yeah.
But at that point, I'm pretty sure Trump was already saying he was going to run. I don't know. I'm probably misremembering that, but I feel like he made some comments about that. So I don't know.
Trump's been running since he lost the first time. So
Trump is a fucking douche.
Oh my God, such a
He is
douche.
the worst. He's the worst. God, I hate him. Speaking of Donald Trump, he thinks Putin should mediate between Israel and Iran.
Now,
And he's very upset that people are not giving him credit for being able to solve peace agreements.
Jesus Christ, I'm a saltine cracker.
I know.
So I
Both
have
of
not
those
heard
stories
that
in
until
one
you told
day.
me. Oh, those are two different stories. Oh, okay.
Two different stories within 24 hours. His ego is a little burned right now.
So he can't even broker a peace agreement between the Ukraine and the Soviet or Russia. And he thinks that Russia should broker a peace agreement between. Okay, what am I missing here? Neither of these two morons know how to broker peace. They are warmongers.
Putin is in the middle of a war.
Literally,
and he's
a war
going
he
to
started.
fix Israel and Iran, which we know the U.S. is already deeply involved in. Israel is throwing us under the bus, as they should. and we're denying that we've.
But there's
How
so many
dumb do
problems.
they think we are?
So many problems with Israel's leadership right now. So
Oh my
many
God.
problems.
Well, I have heard, and I usually listen to the BBC World News, and I've been so distracted with everything else, I've not listened as much. BBC World News is actually really nice to listen to because it's got a nice accent. It doesn't involve much of the United States, and it's pretty monotone. They don't get very excited. They don't get very opinionated. But in my memory, they have reported multiple times that Israelis are not happy with the war. A lot of Israelis actually would like there to be peace with Palestine. So I think I would guess, and this is totally my opinion, that their opinion of their leadership is very similar to what's happening here.
Yeah. Well, and everybody knows I don't think it's a secret that if he stops the war, he will be held accountable for his war crimes, for his corruption, for his all the things he does that Trump has done. He and Trump are just two peas in a pod.
Oh, absolutely. Because they're both terrible human beings.
They truly are. Horrible, horrible, horrible war criminals.
They are. And I hope the international court, well, I know we're not involved in the ICC, but I think Israel might be.
That I don't know.
I don't know that either. I should look that up. Well, I hope they do something because it's total BS.
Speaking of total BS, nice transition. The fact that we don't know that much about these Minnesota lawmakers who were murdered yesterday in the Minneapolis area. Absolutely insane that I'm not seeing all kinds of news alerts.
Insane. Well, I think part of that, when Aaron Parnas reported it, he was citing, I don't think it was the New York Times. I cannot remember what news source he cited, but it was like buried very deep into the article that he was a Republican and voted for Trump. So if that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what else does. Because clearly the Republican Party has got some major issues. 70 people were on his hit list.
You know what I find is interesting now that you say that is that every single time one of their wackadoos go wackadoo, they always try to immediately point the finger and say, but this was a Democrat who was a wackadoo. And it's always one of their wackadoos. Always. The two guys that tried to take out Trump, they're wackadoos. Yep. This guy, they're wackadoo. Yep. There's like, so far that I've seen, really no variation to their wackadoos. They're doing these
and you know what's still interesting
things
about the thing in Pennsylvania with Trump being shot? Why is he still not mad about that?
It's so weird.
He's mad at Obama still about shit and Biden. But we don't care about the fact that he was almost unalived.
You know, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I think that usually Occam's razor, the simplest, answer is always the right one. But that one's just weird. You know, the more you think about it, the more weirder it gets. Why haven't we heard like a big investigative report about it? You know, why hasn't there been like a Epstein file report? Oh, Epstein files. Wait, we don't talk about that. But.
Oh, yeah, we need to talk about that too. Well, but they threw the female Secret Service director under the bus for that. Got rid of her ass. It's always a woman or a Democrat or
someone of color.
Someone in the global majority.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if women fall into that. I think women fall into the global majority because we outnumber men.
We do, but we don't have any power. We don't have the kind of power they do.
Not yet.
Well, we do have a Minnesota, not to be morose, but we do have a Minneapolis area chapter leader, and I'm hoping that she will consider running for that seat just to make sure that we get another woman in that seat now that the representative has been tragically gunned down. I hope that she'll think about it and really consider running.
Her public Facebook page is Sabra, SABRAE. Sabra Jewel with 2 L's, love. So follow her. We are really encouraging her to do that. But we're also encouraging her to run for something else anyway next year. But back to the Minnesota, they detained the wife of the murderer with, she had her passport, cash, weapons, and ammunition on her.
Where in the world did she think she was going to go with weapons and ammunition. There's no country in the universe that's going to let her get on a plane. They're not going to let her cross any borders.
No clue. None of this makes sense to me. But I don't think I can make sense of a lot of their mentality. And I say them because they're all a little crazy.
Well, it seems
because
like
we just don't live like them. He's got to be. Yeah, I mean, we've been calling this a cult for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if he believes in this 7 mountains mandate thing, he is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Those are the people that believe that there are 7 pillars to government and law and society and entertainment. And all of those things need to be broken down and brought under the control of white male Christians. So it's over the top loony. So if he's part of that,
crazy cakes.
And I fear that he's not going to be the only one that's doing crazy loony stuff. It seems no, it's required. If you're going to be part of Trump's MAGA cult, you have to be a loony bird and willing to do awful things. Look at everyone in
his fucking junk drawer. They do loony nonsense stuff all the time. Literally detaining a U.S. senator. Fucking crazy.
Fucking crazy. Indicting a U.S. House of Representatives member. Fucking crazy. I've been getting trolled like crazy on my socials, like trolled like I've never been trolled before. Fucking crazy.
Your name has to be on a list somewhere that was recent.
I don't know how you get on the wrong side of different socials, but
you just have one douchebag send out your handle to someone.
Yeah, that seems to have happened on my Instagram.
Do you feel like they're real accounts, or do they seem just like bots?
There are a lot of men, so I think a lot of them are real. Lots of mansplaining about how stupid I am. You don't know anything about the military. You're a stupido. You're an embarrassment.
That's my favorite. I love it when men tell me I am not a combat veteran.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay.
You're not a real veteran.
Right. All right.
You know, a real veteran wouldn't tell another veteran they're not a real veteran. Right?
Oh, let me see your DD-214.
I don't even know what that is.
You're not fucking idiots.
99% of the time, these guys aren't veterans that are saying I'm not a veteran. Because real veterans don't say that to other veterans, even if you don't like them.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
It's crazy. Olivia Rodrigo is now speaking out against the ICE raids, which is apparently very important when celebrities do this because they reach more people than just people who are into politics like us. So keep it up, celebrities. If you all know celebrities, start tagging them when people do this shit. And we need to encourage it.
Yes, agreed. They've got a much broader reach than we do. So if you know some celebrities, aka eye candy, let them know they need to speak out. Now's the time. Stop being a pussy.
Yep. And that is all I have for national news.
Yeah, national news. The only other thing I had on my list was the Pope. The Pope had his little dealer in Chicago. Big success. Totally sold out. And it did not rain in Washington, D.C., even though I washed my car.
It poured here. But you know what? People stayed.
Yeah, that's the impressive part to me. Whenever there's bad weather, everything kind of stops everywhere. People don't turn out to vote. They don't turn out for protest. They don't turn out for rallies. But by God, they did yesterday, even with the crappy weather.
Yep. So bravo Hoosiers, bravo anyone who went or watched live streams.
Yes. Spread the word and spread the good vibes.
Yep.
State news here. I only have one thing since we're trying to jam through this podcast because I'm so freaking tired. I could go sleep now. So the central Iowa area, so Des Moines metropolitan and central Iowa in general, is under a water restriction because our nitrates are so high that it's not drinkable. It's not fit for human consumption anymore. Even though the Des Moines Water Works has the world's largest nitrate reducer filtration system in the entire world. Because we throw so much pig shit on our land here, it destroys our drinking water. And so the Des Moines Water Works has to go in and take all those nitrates out. And when I say nitrates, just assume I'm saying pig shit, because that's what I'm saying. And when they take it out, it's supposed to be drinkable, but they're so high right now, record levels of high. They can't take them out. There's just not enough. There's too many.
So do you have to boil your water or do you have to just go get bottled water?
I don't know yet. They've just made it restricted to the point where you can't water your lawn. So at some point they'll probably make, because they can't keep up. So if you're watering
what are you
lawn,
drinking?
Right now, I'm just drinking the regular filtered water that I always drink, but that's why we also have higher cancer rates than anyone else. Because, what are you going to drink? So, like, we just have a filter in our refrigerator that filters the water, so that's what we drink. But I don't know if that takes out nitrates. I can't imagine it does.
I don't know either. It'd be good to look into.
Right? So right now we're just under restrictions as far as you can't water your lawn anymore. I'm sure that soon it'll be you can't wash your car, you can't do all kinds of stuff with water because they just can't keep up with the demand for summer and taking out the pig shit.
Oh my God, that's horrible. Well, here in Elkhart County, this is thanks to Corinne Strait, 3 construction workers put 2 cats in a box, locked up the box, and put it in a trash compactor, and then told someone about it.
What in the hell is wrong with that?
They were a nuisance, and those shelters were too full.
Oh my God, that is that's maniacal.
It is insane.
That's the kind of stuff serial killers do.
Yeah. And they are in legal trouble for that. And the Arkansas governor, Huckabee, and our governor, Braun, who is a total fucking piece of garbage, have joined together to tell SNAP beneficiaries all the fun things they cannot eat and buy with their SNAP benefits because they are mahas.
You know what? We did that here too. So,
oh my God, that's so good. That's so good.
Our restrictions start in January, so you won't be able to buy like pop anymore or certain granola bars. You can buy like the cereal granola bars, like the Trix cereal granola bars, but they're not really granola. But you can't buy the ones with nuts. There's all these weird restrictions. Like the stuff that really is healthy might be more restricted than the stuff that isn't. You can't buy like almond milk.
Smart.
Yeah. It's just all kinds of weirdness that they didn't think through because that's what they do. And remember,
if you can't buy almond milk, that's because the dairy farmers.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. But remember, we also turned away the federal money for kids to eat during the summer.
We did too.
So Kim Reynolds said she wanted a waiver so that she could have the money and she would dole it out to, corporations to feed these kids and give them welfare boxes. I know this is going to come as a shocker. Brace yourself. The rollout has been bumpy. They have not been able to get the food to these kids that needed it. So I swear I'm not making this up. This is a direct quote. The person in charge of this said, I hope those kids find food. Oh
my God.
Wish I was kidding.
Unreal. I will never understand that.
No.
I will never.
Well, you do understand it. It's just unbelievable because they want kids to be hungry. They want parents to be desperate. They want them to work more hours. They want the kids to go to work. Forced labor, desperation. It works out really nicely, especially if the kids don't have proper education and they're tearing that apart too. It all really works together nicely for
and then it keeps them also not only working, but it also keeps people very much in the jail system.
Absolutely. Yeah. Stealing for
because you get desperate.
They're impoverished. Absolutely. Yeah, it's a big cycle.
It is. And we are right at 30 minutes. We have 47 seconds left.
Oh, my stars. This is going to be, remember last week we had like our longest podcast ever. This is
we weren't coming off of like Pride and Protest. That needs to be a book name. Pride and Protest.
You're right. That'll be right after my workbook is done. My Fight Like a Bitch workbook. I'm just about done. I keep telling everybody I'm just about done with the Fight Like a Bitch workbook. But then as soon as I get almost done with it, I'm like, oh, I need to add this other thing. So it just keeps growing. At some point, I'm going to have to say, this is enough. Come on, I'm done.
Well, you can do like, are you going to actually print it or you do digital?
Yes, both.
Okay. So the digital you could update as you add to it.
That's true.
And then you could just have different volumes, do small batches, right? Mm-hmm. Where people like print on demand, you can update it, upload it. And it can be evolving.
That's good idea. That's why
because there will always be new things because this is so unprecedented and we're going to have to get really creative that as we add these things, you're going to have to update it.
Ever evolving. Absolutely. Yeah. We have to change our strategy as they start to resist the old strategies. 100%.
Yeah. So don't be committed to that. All right, cool.
We have another podcast in the can. We will record again on Wednesday. You can always reach out to me at bitchesgetstuffdone.org, and Blythe can be reached at.
I am HoosierBitchesGetStuffDone.org.
You can call us on our cell phone. Oh, Jesus Christ, on a saltine cracker. You can call us on our Google Voice message number. It's 515-442-0422. You can leave a message there for us, or you can leave us a tip for any ICE movements that you have personally seen, or military or militia movement or presence in your area. Please leave as many details as you possibly can so I can verify it. With that, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to BGSD, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.